Welcome to yet another live stream from Kuala Lumpur. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm your host Kuala Lumpur. Today we'll be going over pretty much the same things that we did last week, but with different trades, of course.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Let me just mute myself with that sound check. Had to make sure that sound was working. And we're gonna jump right into looking at some trades. So for those of you who have no idea what this stream is about and you're tuning in for the first time, what I do on a daily basis in my life is trading at this point. I've hopped onto this, call it a challenge, for the last year plus, and I'm trying to make a full-time white-collar employee's worth of pay on a consistent basis through day trading. And a lot of you may think that's crazy, that's not possible, trading is gambling, blah, 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 blah. And I'm here to prove all of that wrong. So one of the things that I have been doing as part of my little trading journey over here, so I'm trading everything from the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, all the way to crypto. And as of Christmas 2024, I'm also experimenting with Forex. Now, what I've learned from the Forex guy that I've been following is that his trade style is a lot like our friend over here, whose trades that we're going to look at in just a moment. Our friend Joe is an alleged multi-million crypto multi-millionaire. So this guy is someone that I found through a person that I know, so call him a friend of a friend. I don't really know him on a personal basis, but what I do have are his trades from 2024. So I basically paid him some money last year, trying to learn something from him. And while I did learn a few things, what I did also learn is that he is an unfortunately bad teacher. And I don't want to point fingers or anything, but he's just an objectively bad teacher, because he's able to find these trades, get into them, get out of them, make a good amount of money. And really that's how he got to where he is right now. He's an alleged multimillionaire who started just a few years ago from making a kind of fortunate mistake of investing in the right coin at the right time just by pure luck. And he turned a couple of $1,000s into a couple of million, allegedly. And then he tried to learn how to trade on a proper, more formal basis, and that's how he picked up what he picked up. Unfortunately, he's unable to communicate a lot of those concepts over to his call them mentees like myself, and that's how I kind of went off into the other parts of the trading world to go look for some resources to be able to learn and make myself good. So what I did after that, it was shortly after I found the Forex guy, followed him a lot for his trade psychology and mentality content, and then shortly thereafter I started paying attention to how he trades Forex. I had no interest before that in trading Forex. And then I realized, wow, okay, so this guy actually trades seemingly a lot like Joe does, but in a more structured manner. And I was able to pick up on a few things. He's a great teacher. And right now I'm just trying to apply those two things into one. I'm trying to mash those two things together, so I have the best of both worlds. And that's why I'm here reverse engineering. So the way that I reverse engineer trades over here is I have an Excel that's off screen, unfortunately, for privacy and security reasons, call it that. And the thing about this Excel is that it contains a bunch of trades taken by Joe last year. And what I want to do is I want to be able to look at what he was looking at and hopefully be able to see what he was seeing when he chose to enter his trades, when he chose to exit them. And when he chose to exit them, what I mean is whether he chose to exit manually, I want to know what he was seeing as well. Whether he moved his stop loss up, I want to know what he was seeing when he chose to move his stop loss up. And if it hit that stop loss, I want to know what's going on as well. So without further ado, let me just write down the timestamps for the future watchers of this stream, and then we'll jump right into reviewing the first trade of the day. That is actually BTC. So right now we have BTC, and we're going to go back in time over here to look at his trade. This is going to be a bit of a Scooby-Doo one because I do have his stop loss, I do have his entry timing, but I don't have his entry price. So we'll have to figure that one out. We're going to go back to June 2024, the 18th at 12 at midnight. Shortly after midnight, his declared entry was at 12.19, which is about on this candle over here. We're going to mark his stop loss. He chose to short Bitcoin at this point in time. Let me just look at what else I have. So I do have a previous trade that he took on the 14th of June 2024, which are these lines marked over here. These are my guesses. These little blue circles are my guesses as to when he got out. This pink line is his declared price, and this little purple dotted line up here, it was his stop loss. So that was for his previous trade over here. I'm going to toggle it on and off just so you can see what I'm talking about here. He also chose to short this trade, but so I'm just going to use this as a kickoff point for trying to figure out when exactly he got in, because it does provide us a little bit of a clue. He last shorted Bitcoin when it was at 66K, and right now, as of this entry timing that he's provided, it does look like Bitcoin is approaching 65,000. And based off his notes over here, he really wanted it to break below 65K the last time, but it didn't manage to do so over here. Like you can see over here, it kind of bounced off this 65K point, chopped a bit for the next day or two, and then actually it was even over the weekend. Yeah, that explains why. Usually one does not try to trade during the weekends because of the low volume. And then he goes over here the next Monday night, and he tries to take another trade. So I'm going to base the entry point over here off the stop loss that he's provided. Let me just put the stop loss over here, 67,000. 67,000. Okay. We're going to look at this real quick. And we're going to have to guess when he entered. So he entered over here. I'm going to mark this with a little circle, a little arrow, I mean. This was the point where he entered, and he did move his stop loss $400 down from the last trade that he took. So I'm going to venture and say that he took this trade sometime about here maybe. There's no real reason why he would have gotten in on this candle, definitely, because over here you have the 30-minute chart and kind of close. It did close below where it came from, where it opened, but I don't really see a good reason why you would have done that. Let me just check real quick. So the 4-hour timeline does close at midnight over here, so it might have had something to do with the fact that it closed below this little support area. I'm going to mark this over here just for clarity's sake. I'm going to put a blue line because that's my guess. So what I think he did over here was he got in because it broke downwards on the 4-hour chart, and it stayed below that point. So he probably thought, if it closed below that, it probably has room to run, because as you can see over here on the 1-day chart, there's quite a bit of space down to about $60,000 or so. So he didn't include a take profit point either, so we're gonna have to guess where he wanted this to go. Let me just, I've also a Microsoft Word document that I have that's off screen over here that I do keep in order to figure out what exactly is going on in text form. So what I do is I start typing down these notes The same things that I'm saying on the microphone over here are the same things that I'm typing into this little document. So let me just write things down real quick. So at this point, we can see that the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour is, they all look okay. I don't really agree with this 1 day chart, because you can see that the candle is inside what they call the Kumo in the cloud over here. These little fuzzy lines of yellow, blue, and green are Ichimoku indicators. And I'm sorry if you already know this, if you've watched previous streams, I have to go over this, but basically as an introduction in case someone's watching this for the first time and they haven't watched a previous live stream, and understandably so, because not everyone wants to go explore a 3-hour video, especially when they're too busy in life. They have to go surf TikTok and Facebook and Instagram after they work, after they've come back from the job that they hate, that they constantly complain about to their family and friends. So why would anyone watch a 3-hour live stream of some guy looking at a bunch of crazy ass looking charts on TradingView? I don't know. But that's the reality of life. So these charts over here represent different timelines. Just to go over that little introduction real quick, here's a 1 week chart, here's a 5-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 4 hour. So the reason why it's laid out this way is because there's 2 charts that are in a single category, which is the high time frame, that's the 1 day and the 4 hour. And then there's 2 more charts over here that are what I like to call the medium time frame, so 1 hour and 30 minutes. So there's this Japanese guy that I've been following who looks at a lot of these indicators, and he also trades seemingly pretty closely to how Joe trades, or the other way around. Maybe Joe trades very closely to this guy. But either way, that guy looks at the high time frame first in order to identify what pair to get in, because there's a ton of forex pairs, and there's even more when it comes to crypto coins over here. You can see in this long as list. How the hell are you supposed to figure out what you want to get into? Well, you look at the first you first look at the high time frame over here. If there's either the 1 day chart or 4 hour chart showing a clear downtrend or a clear uptrend, and that's when you start looking at the medium time frame. In this case, it's the 4 hour chart that shows a decent amount of downtrend, although this little green line, which is the Kijun-sen, is flat, which is not so good in terms of continuation. I can see why he decided to get in over here. So after you look at the high time frame, what you do is look at the medium time frame, and you basically look for the same thing. You look for either the 1 hour chart or 30-minute chart, seemingly trending downwards or seemingly trending upwards. In this case, it's both. So that's probably why he chose to get in. Not that he uses these indicators, but I'm just using this as a way of learning, hybridizing these 2 different guys who trade in 2 different ways, yet seemingly have a very similar trading style. So 30-minute to 4 hour was trending, probably took the trade based on the 4 hour close below the 65.2k mark, which I've marked over here with a blue line. I still am not sure as to when he got into this trade. This one's a hard one. You know what I'll do over here is I'll save this in my mind. I mean, I saved this in my Microsoft Word document anyway. So at some point later on, after I've reviewed all 250 trades of Joe's, I'm gonna maybe jump back into this chart one day and be able to figure out exactly when he decided to get in. So I'm going to put here in my notes again that I'm not sure when he decided to get in. So again, he looked at this. This was trending down. This was also trending down, but not really Ichimoku compliant, as I'll say, because you're not supposed to have the candle in here. When the candle is inside this shaded area over here, what that means is that the price has a high probability of chopping around. So not really sure. He got entered on the 5-minute since it did kind of break downwards. Might have been. So my guess over here is that he entered over here towards maybe this area or maybe this area, because that's the only thing that I can say. Like there was kind of like a support over here, as you can see. There's an invisible line where it just kind of bounced here, decided to dilly-dally, chose to come back down here, and then bounce back up. And then they kind of tried to push back down, couldn't do it, push back up, came back down, went back up, came back down to this area again, right? It came back down here, it chopped around, it tried to go back down, tried to go back up, it couldn't do it, went back up a little, came back down, broke below this little area, and then after that, it went back up. And then after it hit this 65.5K line, that's when it pushed back down. So my suspicion is that he took this trade sometime around this area. In fact, he could have even taken it. Let me just mark that little arrow over here. He could have taken it here. And the reason why I say that is because I just remembered there is usually a small delay between when he declares his entry versus when he actually gets into the trade. So even though he says that he entered the trade and posted it at a midnight and 19-minute timestamp, it is possible that he entered towards this area over here. It was below before the 4-hour close, but that's okay. We're just going to put that as our guess. Let me just put that down in my notes as well. So this is an unclear entry. I'm going to mark that as such. Ah, shit, my coffee is too cold. It's only been 30 minutes that it's been sitting out here. It's a bit colder than usual compared to the usual temperature when it sits out here for 30 minutes, unfortunately. So let me just do one thing over here, which is save this trade. I always take screenshots of these trades that I review on my personal little folder over here, because I want to be able to look back one day, and in case, I don't know, for some reason TradingView decides to cut off their historical view feature, I still have a copy for myself. Always keep backups. June 18th, midnight, at this candle over here. This candle. Next candle. So this other chart represents pretty much the similar situation compared to this one, except this is what the other guy uses to get into his trade. So what he does is he looks at the 1 day or the 4-hour on this upper left hand corner, which is what I do over here on the 6 chart view. It's more convenient because I don't have to toggle between the two charts. This little area over here in the lower left represents the medium time frame, so 1 hour or 30 minutes, which is what I have here. And there's a 5-minute chart for the exact entry, but I also have the 15-minute view over here. So I'm going to save this view real quick as well, just so I have a point of reference for the future. And we'll move on to looking at when he decided to get out of this trade. So I have in my notes that an hour later at 1:33 a.m., he decides to call quits on this trade. And let me just look at that real quick. I'm also keeping in mind the fact that I did see a post about this guy once where someone complained about how he seemingly YOLOs into different trades now and then, and I'm investigating that to see if that's the case or not. So he decided to exit because he didn't like the double bottom, which is here and also here. He didn't like the double bottom, and he would re-enter if the local lows break down. So what I think that means is he's probably going to do it if this little support area breaks. So let me just type this down. Mention that he enter so that's my guess. That's just based off his notes. That's the best I can do for this trade over here. I don't mean to disappoint, but sometimes we just don't have enough clues and the situation is just too murky. So let me just mark over here. Do I have this? Okay. And it looks like he did take like a loss over here. I don't know when he decided to exit this trade exactly, but it was definitely above the price point where he decided to enter. So if he cut his loss even like an hour ago, he would still be at a loss position because he entered somewhere here. He exited somewhere here. I'm going to write this down in my Excel sheet and I'm going to move on to the next trade to look at what's going on there. All right, so I do have another trade in between this one and the next BTC trade. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm just going to keep going on BTC because there's a Solana trade that he took at the same time that he declared entry on this BTC trade. But I don't want to have to switch back and forth the different coins just to eliminate distraction. And since we are on a roll on this Bitcoin chart right now, so let me just categorize the information and I'm going to move on to this next trade that he has over here. Let me just put that in. BTC part 2 is what we're looking at, and we're going to look at the timestamp, 23 minutes 30 seconds part 2. All right, so what I'm going to do is 404 is when he decided to declare his entry. All right, so I'm just chugging my coffee because it's already cold. There's no point for me to just keep it there on my desk. So so we have a lot of information for this next trade, which is nice. He declared entry over here at, where's my cross line? 4:04 a.m. However, he did have an entry price of 66.7K, which I'm going to mark as over here. I'm going to put it in the exact place. 66.7 thousand is when he decided to enter. And his stop loss for this trade was 67.5, so quite a bit higher than the one that we just looked at. Marking this over here. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to look at take profit. He has a take profit target as well over here, which is about 65,000. 65,000 is his profit target. I want to understand why 65K. I guess because it's the next support down on the 1-day chart. That's what I'm gonna guess. All right, so the charts look a little bit more convoluted at this point because the 1 week is still technically uptrending. 4 hour is messy because of this candle, and as a result, both the 1 hour and 30 minutes are also messy. So I'm gonna put over here in my notes that Ichimoku was not agreeable on all time frames. So he had to be seeing something. So this trade right here is a prime example of why I'm looking into Joe's trades over here. Like I said before, there's another guy who uses Ichimoku, and he has a more structured way of getting in and out of trades. He also is a significantly better teacher. But the weakness of that guy is that he has to wait for a lot of confluence between a lot of indicators, right? He has to see like 1 day, 4 hour, one of these things working out before he looks at the 1 hour, 30 minute, before going into the 5 minute time frame to find the exact point of entry. And he has to look for a bunch of different things, 3 different factors he looks for before he decides to enter a trade. What our friend Joe does over here is he does things a little bit differently. Like, this is the best example that I can show you, because this trade over here would not be taken by the Japanese guy who has a very structured way of trading. So the Japanese guy has structure, but because of that structure, he doesn't take a lot of trades. However, our friend Joe over here somehow seems to be able to find trade opportunities all the freaking time, and he trades very closely to the Japanese guy. So that's why I'm trying to figure out over here, solve this mystery, combine these two guys' strategies, and hopefully make some money off of that. So I'm going to mark this area over here as his entry point. I'm going to also clear out this. Should I clear out the previous trade, or should I keep this here? I might just keep it here, because these trades were taken within like a 4-6 hour time frame of one another, and I have to actually give these things different names because I have 2 BTC trades in 1 day over here. So let me just rename them. I apologize for the short delay. Like I said, I have another screen that I have on my desk where I have all my notes. So according to him, he liked the low time frame over here, which is 5 minutes. He says that this is either going to be a local bottom or a fake out, and he thinks that the risk reward is decent. So let me just put that in right here, because that's a good piece of information. That's a good clue. Local thinks it's either a local bottom or fake out. All right, so I'm gonna put this, resave this, go over to my multi-chart view, save that. And save this, and what am I looking at over here? I'm trying to figure out why he would have gotten into this trade. I'm guessing it's because of this little support area over here. Let's look for candle closes nearby. So 30 minute just closed. 1 hour was still in progress for another 15 minutes or so. He did declare this entry after the 1 hour close, but the entry price that he gave would put us maybe here. All right, 5 minute chart breakout entry potentially. And take profit target was seemingly a support on the 1 day chart, which is 65k over here. This little bottom. He's aiming to go down here. So let me just type that in. All right, so at 7:04 a.m., let me just fast forward. He decides to exit. See what happens. Nothing happens. Wow. He decides to exit because it seems to be holding up. That's why he decided to exit. He'll wait for better trade opportunities. He wanted to get into this trade just in case it was a fake bounce. Okay. Fake bounce upwards. That's what he meant. So I'm going to put this here. I think he just exited with fees. So does look like he exited based on the fact that it wasn't pushing any lower. It did close above the previous candles over here on the 30-minute, and it also made a higher low on the 1 hour chart. So that might have been a cause for concern for him. Saving this chart. I actually should put a little circle where he declared his exit because that might be important. I'm gonna move to 15-minute time frame. And done. So it looks like he exited over here, eating the fees because he entered somewhere here. He got over here. There's transaction fees for entering and exiting the trade. So I would call this a break even with a tiny loss that's fees. All right, so we're done with this trade. Fortunately or unfortunately, it was a pretty quick one. We're gonna move on to the next trade, which is Solana. And for that, we're gonna have to rewind time back to 12:18, 12:19. So we still have our previous trade over here. Let me just see. That's not needed. No, that's needed. I'm sorry. Confused. So we do have a previous trade that he took on the 14th of June. And the reason why I said that's needed is because I just looked at the right column over here and I only have a stop loss for this trade. Much like the first Bitcoin trade that we just looked at, we have to kind of find our way around as to what he was seeing because we don't have that much information to work with. So stop loss was 149 and he decided to short this 149 over here. It looks like a 1 hour level of resistance. So I'm going to mark this over here. Going to look at the time frames real quick. 30-minute looks fine. 1 hour looks fine. 4 hour, technically it qualifies, but this is a pretty lousy setup because it's not as downtrendy as we would like. We would like this line to be pointing down, the Kijun-sen, which is the green line. Tenkan-sen also should be pointing down ideally. The blue line is basically like the medium time frame level of movement, and the green line over here is really the longer term time frame movement. So I'm going to put this right here in my notes real quick. 30-minute and 1 hour look fine. Actually, this wasn't fine. This was fine because this line over here should also penetrate the Kumo, which is this shaded area over here. So this was on the verge of breaking out of the Kumo. So it is downtrending, but not as ideal as if the line had pierced through like this one over here. So I'm just gonna put that in to my notes as well. Okay. This is going to be a very, very similar trade to the Bitcoin one. I have in my notes that he has the same criteria that he was looking for over here as he did with the Bitcoin trade. So he shorted this. He wanted it to move down somehow. Wanted to break the support, I think. Move on to the next one. Yeah, this is about a 10% move, which is not so bad. He usually looks for like a 5% as a first take profit, and then like more than that as a second take profit. I can see why he entered this one. Take profit points were probably typing this down in my little Word document, so I apologize if I'm not speaking. After I'm done putting these notes in, I'm gonna get over to when he decided to exit the Solana trade over here. 4 hour. So the reason why I said that this trade is clearer than the Bitcoin trade is because like there's a clear like downtrend on the 5-minute chart over here. It's not like the Bitcoin one where it was kind of like chopping like this. It was at least doing this when he decided to enter. All right, save this as well. Where is my Solana trade? Solana is over here. I'm gonna jump over to his exit, 130. I mean, this was probably a small loss as well for him, because he declared entry over here, which means that he entered sometime here, and he probably cut when it was at least up here. So he took a tiny loss. I'm gonna save this into my notes. What's noteworthy over here is that he also had there was also a higher low situation going on over here. This was on the verge of forming a higher low. Higher low was confirmed over here. Higher low was not confirmed. Wait, what? Okay. I'm gonna save this over here. His exit from the trade. Exit is over here, and exit is over here. So one of the things I recently tried out was prop firms. I've been wanting to get into that since Christmas of last year. Didn't have the balls to do that until this year, until just last week. It's pretty fun. It's not as big of a scam as some people claim that it is. It's just like a carnival game. I've heard the comparison that prop firms are basically like those like claw machines and whatnot. Like, yeah, is it difficult? It is. Are there a lot of rules that make it seemingly unfair? Yeah. But there's a pretty good risk-reward ratio, and I think a lot of people shit on prop firms way too much without knowing what they're really about. Because you could lose money on prop firms if you didn't know what you were doing. But if you did know what you were doing, you could probably make a decent amount of money. Okay, so what do we have over here? We need to go over to 7:32 a.m. And this is his Ethereum trade over here. Okay, so we have to look at this Ethereum trade over here. Enough of Bitcoin, enough of Solana. We won't see Solana again till the 20th of June 2024. We're going to look at Ethereum right now, which was also taken on the morning of June 18th. Make a new table in my Microsoft Word document. Oh, interesting. I have a picture saved of something over here. Okay. What does it say? It says he made 50% at least from this trade. Wow, okay. Let's check it out. June 18th. 732. Gonna switch this. 732 is over here. Ethereum, we're gonna fast forward over here. 732. Entry point 35.15. Put our little entry arrow over here. We're gonna put our cross line over here. I think he entered over here. Looks like he entered here. It's either this one or the next one. It doesn't matter. It's close enough. Close enough because I just want to know what he was seeing, and it looked like it was just like it closed below this little, you know, resistance turned support, turned resistance ish, turned back into support. So that's probably why he got in. Shorted it, stop loss 3,600. Can you guys imagine this? This is supposed to be the day job that makes you money in life, and it's not very different from like an office job. But the only difference is I don't have anyone I have to report to who treats me like a fucking slave, right? At the office. Can sit here in my work from home uniform, my work from home attire, and I can look at these charts. It's a lot of it's like rubber stamping paperwork at like an office. It's not very exciting work, this whole trading thing. But what I do know about it is that it does pay. And you also don't have to deal with other people. Sorry, I'm just trying to reply to a friend. I'm gonna send him some funny memes. He just sent me a photo of someone that looks like someone that we know. All right, so where was I? Stop loss was over here. At 3,600, wanted it to come down to 3,350, and then after that 3,200. What else do we have here over here? Nothing. It looks like a breakout trade. That's pretty obvious. Nice. This is a case that I love, and I'm sure you guys love as well, because that way you won't have to lose your patience before you want to go back to your Facebook or whatever you want to do. To waste away your life and click the fucking X button because nothing seems to be going on. This is a really good setup to analyze, because it's an open and shut case. It's very clear. There's the exit that we just have to look at right now. I'm gonna save this over here, because we also have the second chart that we have to save all the time. This is a nice trade. it's very clear why he decided to enter. Just I'm probably going to lose a lot of viewers because I'm not like super entertaining. I'm not like talking about a whole bunch of stuff, although I do try to keep things a little bit chill. But I also have to type these things down into my freaking Word document over here because I want to be able to look back at my notes in the future and not have to watch a long ass video of myself talking or go into trading view. That's why I save every single chart and I type down every single thing that I say on the stream. My apologies. I will probably take a short rant break over here after looking at this trade. It says here that structure looks bad on this chart, which means that it's a good time to short. Okay? What the hell does structure mean? Does it, like, I don't know, like it kind of broke structure over here? On the other hand, this was probably a head and shoulders. Okay. What is structure even? By the way, that's not my terms. That's the terms that he's using to describe this chart over here, whatever he's looking at. Structure. And that's one of the things that I need to figure out as well, because he likes to throw this word around a lot, like, but what the hell does it mean? Structure. This was a downtrend, I can see it, but then it broke back up here. Okay, it was a little bit of a fake out, got to this resistance over here on the 30-minute 4-hour time frame as well, and then it bounced back down. But I wouldn't consider this really bad structure. Anyway, according to the Japanese guy's indicators, he wouldn't have taken this trade because 1 week was still technically uptrending over here. It wasn't even below this blue line, which is what they call the Tenkan-sen, which is indicative of the medium-term buying and selling activity. It was kind of downtrending over here, but at the same time, the lines weren't agreeable. So this blue line over the green line is indicative of an uptrend. So the candles are saying downtrend, but the indicator is saying an uptrend. And the same thing goes for this one. Both lines are in the Kumo, which is this shaded area. The Japanese guy wouldn't have taken this trade. So this is an exciting one because it does defy whatever the Japanese guy would have looked for. And I want to see what Joe was seeing over here because I want to be able to trade like him. I want to see what he sees that he's able to enter despite the Japanese guy looking at the same chart and deciding this is a bad chart. I wouldn't trade this. Not agreeable. Yeah, he took a break from trading for the next 24 hours or so after this. There's a lot of things going through my mind right now. That's why I'm a bit distracted. I'll talk about them after we've looked at this trade. So, what am I looking at? Stop loss was above prior 1 hour resistance. And his 30-minute Can I introduce some entertainment into the stream? I'm wondering. If I can do that. All right, so. All right, let me just finish this Ethereum trade right here. This is my ADHD kind of kicking in over here. We've spent way too long. We've spent 13 minutes reviewing this trade so far, and I know that hasn't been much going on this chart because I'm just typing in my notes and semi-daydreaming at the same time. I apologize. And I'm not daydreaming like of a bunch of nonsense. I'm actually thinking about stuff that I'll talk about in just a sec. Take profit. I'm trying to figure out why 3,200 over here. I mean, 3,350 was a recent new support on the 1-day chart and 4 hour. Let me just look real quick on this 4 hour chart. No real reason. I don't really see why he would have done this. Huh. So let me put on my thinking cap over here. Why were these two things the take profit lines over here? Let me bust up my calculator real quick. He got in at 35.15 and he got out. I mean, he was targeting. Okay. All right. So I'm guessing over here that these take profit lines weren't based on the chart, which is why I've been staring at this thing for so damn long and not getting anywhere. My suspicion is that he was using percentages, which I've also noticed in his other trades in the past. His take profit one, let me just type that down as well while I'm talking. His take profit one was at almost exactly a 5% movement from his entry point, and his take profit 2 was at 9%, almost exactly 9% from his entry over here. So that's pretty interesting. This is a percentage based take profit system, which is new to me, but I'm guessing that it also makes kind of some sense because this candle is so big. Like the next real support from this area over here would be all the way down here, which would be like a like a 11%, 12%. My math is bad. I should be better at math because I'm Asian. However, I'm overly dependent sometimes on these electronic devices, like the thing that we call a calculator. So this is a 12.5% move from up here to down here. I think that would have been a bit much. So that's probably why he decided on these two take profit points. So before I bore everyone to death, let me just jump right into the conclusion of this trade, which happened about 2 hours later, 9:47. Whoo, that was a big move. Mentioned that his take profit was hit. Don't know when he exited completely, if he exited completely. All right, so we have our exit point over here. It's a pretty straightforward one. Fortunately, he declared that the take profit was hit close enough over here. Save this. Unfortunately, which is a reality of life over here, we don't really know when he decided to, if he decided to get out. We don't know if he did get out, how much he got out with, if he left what he calls a runner, right? Where he's hoping for the price to continue to slide downwards. We don't know if he, what happened after this, because 2 days later over here, as I've typed out in my notes, he did decide to long Ethereum, which means he would have closed out from his positions by that time, I think. Common sense would say that he did. So it's not very clear. Exit. So let me see if I can can I, let's see if I have something entertaining to talk about. All right. Declared that TP was hit. So I think this is pretty straightforward. He entered over here, he exited over here, presumably. It just waterfalled all the way down here, no chopping sideways. When the profit target is hit, you want to take away your money because you don't want to let it reverse. It's not too complicated. All right, we took a little bit longer than expected on this trade over here. I hope it's all clear though. This one's a done deal. Okay, I'm gonna mark this. He did make a nice profit on this guy. and definitely a win. All right, so I'm gonna mark this in the timestamp that we're done at this point in time. And what I wanted to talk about over here, because I spent a lot of time in this Ethereum trade, kind of typing in notes, but I was also daydreaming. So what I was thinking about just now was whether I should actually start like making videos teaching people what to trade or how to trade, really, because I only started trading technically a year plus ago, formally. There's you could argue the exact time when I started trading, because I opened my first crypto exchange account, I think about a decade ago, if I'm not mistaken. So you could say that I started back then, but at the same time, I only started seriously looking into trading and learning how to trade and stuff like that early last year, early 2024. And the reason why I'm keen to really start something on this channel about like trying to teach people how to trade is because I'm one of those people who got scammed by not financially. Well, technically it was financial, but not directly, at least. I got scammed by the education system that I grew up in. I got scammed by the people around me in the societies that I've lived in. I've lived in many countries across different continents, and some of those have stronger opinions than the others, but most of them have the perception that trading is gambling. Trading is not a sustainable way of making income. Trading is not a replacement for a full-time job, because you can't get consistent gains out of trading. You can't make money all the time by trading. And trading is not a serious occupation unless you work in a bank or a hedge fund or whatever. There's so many of these different idiotic opinions that I found to be completely false, right? There's a lot of people who think that you have to go for a fucking course or a seminar. You have to pay a couple of $1,000 to listen to some guy on stage teach you how to trade over the course of a weekend. Let me tell you something about trading that I've learned by myself in the last 1 year. And I'm not saying that I didn't spend any money. I did spend some money on some of these trading mentors, trading gurus who I've kind of vetted to be, in my opinion, pretty legit. Like I've spent like I would say like close to $2,000 on education, to put all those things into a single word, right? I've spent $2,000 on education, and I'm not saying that it's bad to get educated, that you have to learn everything yourself in crypto. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that there's all these people who think that you can just go for any course and learn how to trade, and that's how it works. And that's not true. You can't learn how to trade in a single weekend. I don't think you can even learn how to trade in a single month unless you're not even like even this guy who does all these trades that we're trying to analyze and reverse engineer over here, Joe. He's like a boy genius, right? I don't want to reveal too much about this guy because it's not my place to do that. But he's a genius. He definitely has a much higher IQ than most of us, including myself. I don't think even this guy Joe would be able to learn trading within a month, right? And on the other camp, there's this other camp of people who think that because they went for some kind of course or seminar, or they've seen their friends and family do it, and they haven't been able to succeed. Oh, it must be that these courses are a scam. It must be that these trading gurus are making money off the content that they produce, off these seminars that they organize, off these courses that they sell you, as opposed to actually trading. And in many ways, I believe that's true. I don't disagree with that at all. I think it's pretty common for a lot of people who teach trading to actually make their money off of teaching people as opposed to actually doing it. And those are grifters, to make it clear, right? To be absolutely clear, those kinds of people are grifters, because if you knew how to trade and you made a good amount of money off trading on a regular basis, and you decided, hey, I want to have, I want to change the world for the better. I want to enable more people to quit their miserable ass full-time employee jobs and be able to take the reins of life for themselves and be able to dictate, when and what they want to do in their day, as opposed to getting into a car, or even worse, getting into fucking public transportation and then commuting an hour to an hour and a half to a fucking miserable office every single day, and then spending 9-10 hours, the best day of the best time of the day, right? When the sun is up, when the sun is shining and the day is bright, every single weekday, 5 days a week out of 7 at the office. And that's completely fine. I respect those people. Those are the guys like Joe and this the Japanese guy, and also there's another guy that I also follow. I believe that these guys are actually guys who are who trade on a full-time basis, decided that they wanted to help other people, and that's why they decided to start so-called mentoring people, or starting these trading groups, whatever. But there's a whole bunch of other people, right? So the majority of these gurus aren't like these people. These people are the minority. The majority of people who teach trading are grifters who have basically never traded or traded very little, and maybe they've traded a lot as well, but they're definitely not profitable. They're definitely not making their full-time income off of trading. And yet they're trying to teach people by selling these courses, right? By creating all these YouTube videos that try to make trading seem extremely complicated. Because if they don't make it seem complicated, what happens is people realize that, wow, that's the end of the syllabus. That's all about trading that I need to know, and I just have to practice and improve my trading psychology, and that's it. How the hell are these guys gonna make any money whatsoever from selling their courses? Creating content that people view, and every time they get views, they get ad revenue. How are they gonna do that? If they told you the truth, that trading wasn't as hard as society around us makes it seem, and it's all about reading like price action, being able to read candles, being able to understand how to plot like support and resistance, being able to look at all these things, like it's not a lot of content. They're not going to be able to make money. That's a no-no for them. So anyway, that was what I was thinking about. I'm also trying to figure out how I can call out call out some of these people that I see on this on these other guys' comment section, because the other thing that I've noticed as well is there's a lot of people in the comment sections of these different trading guru videos, and they're all fucking idiots. Like, majority of comments within any trading video, right, are brainless comments made by people who refuse and haven't spent any time watching the other videos of whatever channel that they're putting their comment on. So for instance, I'll talk about the Japanese guy, because that's like the clearest, most straightforward example over here. There's a bunch of people who have been posting things like, so what forex pairs do you trade? What forex broker do you use? How do you get that Excel sheet that you keep showing people? How do you get that trade journal tracker thingy in Excel? How can I download it? All that information is already mentioned either in writing, like it's either in the comments somewhere in previous videos, or it's just in the content of previous videos. You just have to go look for it. And if you're so keen about like learning how to trade, wouldn't you do that? Like, wouldn't you go onto these other videos and go check them out? Why are you jumping into a video for the first time wanting to learn something and then asking all these basic ass questions, these basic bitch questions that you could literally answer for yourself on a self-serve basis? That's what I don't get. Anyway, I don't know if this is a segment that's going to be appealing for the viewers of this video after it gets posted. Because I just went on a 10-minute long rant about trading gurus and people who comment in their comment sections and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it's also funny when let me just look at what the hell's going on here. I think this was my trades, I think. I think it's really funny when people don't watch like other videos or even the entire video. Like, a lot of people expect to be spoon-fed information, and they expect it all to be handed to them on a silver platter. But when they get asked as to why they don't want to view the whole video, or why they dropped into someone's fucking live stream and then just watch this guy like do like a few charts and yeah, that's so boring. When you ask them why they don't want to keep watching, most of the time what these guys are going to say is, well, I just don't have any time for that. I have more important things to do. I'm working every day and I'm busy. You know what these same people usually do? I can say this with a 95% confidence. I bet you that most of these guys saying that I'm busy, I need to work, I spend most of my time at work, my time is precious. You know what most of these guys are doing during their spare time? Watching TikTok videos, brain rot on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, stupid viral articles that have nothing to do with whatever it is that they're doing in life. Like, it's just stupidity that at best, right, keeps your brain cells idle. But usually, I think these kinds of content that they just rot out your brain cells. That's why it's called brain rot. So not only are you wasting your time by watching like all that content, you're literally decreasing your IQ. So I want to do one more trade before I get off of here. Because I am kind of about to start another game of Age of Empires, and that's probably when the viewership of this channel is gonna of this stream is gonna drop, because people don't want to see video games. They're here for the trading. So I'm gonna do one more before I lose all my viewers for this stream. we have, ooh, what is this? Oh, that's why. We're 24 hours too far behind. This happened on the 19th of June. Okay, 1 hour and 22 minutes. So in this next trade analysis, reverse engineering, we're gonna reverse engineer ONDO. ONDO is another crypto shitcoin that our friend Joe decided to get into on the 19th of June. He got in at this time over here. He declared entry at a little past 235. And his entry price was 1.19, which is over here. Now I want to say that he entered this trade over an hour, right? A few hours before he actually declared that he entered. And the reason why that is because of this entry price that I have over here. He had a stop loss of 1.06. And he had a take profit level. Oh man, my game is starting. You know what? We're gonna take an intermission from this, which is unfortunate because I'm gonna get back to, I'm gonna timestamp it differently. I'm gonna switch over to Age of Empires real quick. I apologize for doing this because I know some people are gonna get fucking disappointed if they're viewing this live. But hey, I've been doing trade reviews for the last 1 hour, man. Gotta take a break sometimes. There's some people who are probably not going to appreciate this and call this stream clickbait. I like this game because there's a lot of good stuff that you can learn from it. It sharpens your head, keeps you alert, keeps your fingers moving fast. It allows you to see all kinds of idiots that exist in real life. Where's my second boar? Did he steal my second boar? Where's my second boar? Okay, it's over here. I also got to make a video after this. This is unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna look at this real quick before people get annoyed. Yeah, I'm gonna timestamp it properly, but I'm just gonna mark my trades real quick. I mean, mark the stop loss over here. Okay. Okay, you know what? I am gonna quit this game. And I'm gonna go back to trading. Trade reviews, I mean. Okay, time to timestamp this because people are not going to be really happy if they had to okay. So we're going to look at ONDO over here because that's our next trade. It took place on the 19th of June, and he decided to long this coin over here. He had an entry point of 1.19, which I believe he took over here as it was breaking upwards, because there's no way he would have taken it like over here when it was chopping sideways. It just doesn't make that much sense. He had a stop loss of 1.06, which is below both like the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour supports. So I'm going to type that down over here as well. Okay. It was uptrending on the 30-minute to 1 hour time frame, but it wasn't doing anything on the 4 hour or the 1 day time frames. There's too little information to work with in the 1 week chart. Technically, it was uptrending. Looks like a breakout entry over here. And stop loss was based off putting in my notes again. Take profit was way up there at 1.4, which is interesting because what is 1.4? 1.4 is the resistance that it struggled to get above previously on the 4 hour, 1 day, and also the 1 week time frames. it's worth noting. It's worth noting over here that 1.4 is also what looks like the all-time high of ONDO, and he decided to get in over here because of this breakout. It looked like it was just like breaking up and out from here, so he wanted to ride that wave upwards, which where it's pretty obvious why he decided to do that. Breakout entry, open and shut. I like these kinds of trades. That way we have as little mystery as possible, and the less mystery we have, the clearer the answer as to why our multimillionaire friend Joe decided to enter his trade. So I probably should make like a video explaining what I'm doing over here to the people who watch this channel in general. I'll probably use this trade as an example over here. I should probably do that. I'll probably do that. No, not probably. I will do that after I'm done with this stream. Because right now I need to finish this review, make sure that we've done a good number of trades for the day. We've reverse engineered 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th trade that we're reverse engineering over here for today, and I think it's going to be my last. So I better make this good. So we have our entry criteria over here. We're going to look at our exit. We have a lot of notes. So he says that he added into ONDO after he previously entered at $1. Let me just look for that. Did he actually do that? That was a while back, wasn't it? I don't even have it in my notes. So he previously entered at $1. Likes the high time frame chart, which is this one, I'm guessing, or this one. Not sure which one he's referring to. And he's basing it off Bitcoin. He's looking at whether Bitcoin holds up at the 65K level, which is a level that's very familiar by now, hopefully. So Bitcoin was over here. He wants it above this point over here, which it just bounced off of. And 4 hours later, he decided to exit his trade. See why. 608. Here. He decided to get out over here. Why is that? It went up, it went down. So we have this over here. Let's look at what we can find based on what he said about his exit over here. Remember to save the game before you exit. Save the game, save the game. All right, so it looks like he exited just because it broke downwards, and it technically did form a lower high over here. It was forming a lower high, so I think that's why he decided to call quits on it. I think it's pretty interesting sometimes because he doesn't make everything super clear, but at the same time we are able to look for certain things and learn from those things in order to determine what happened. So this was a tiny loss. Tiny loss. About 1%. It's about a 1% loss for him. It's like a 3% hit with leverage. Okay, we are done with this trade. You know what? There's actually a second half of this trade, which I'm gonna do right now just because I feel like I don't want to leave anyone hanging with unfinished business. So we're gonna take another look. We're going to keep looking at ONDO, but we're going to take a look at another trade that happened some 12 hours later after this trade. So it's also ONDO. We have an entry point. We have an exit point. Nice. Let's fast forward over to that. On this chart, on the 20th at 9:15 a.m. Almost there. Wow, okay. So we have 9:15. Technically, it was just before 9:15. Entry price 1.21. Okay. I think he entered here. Just put that in a different color so we can have both of those things. I don't think he entered on this pullback. I want to say that it's not likely. It is possible, but just based off of knowing how this guy seems to like trading, he likes doing like breakouts. I don't think I've ever seen him mention anything about a pullback. I could be wrong. Or he could have mentioned it. I might have missed it because he doesn't talk about it enough. Either way, his stop loss over here was 1.14, and I assume that his price target was the same as the trade before this. Why? Because 1.4 up here is the all-time high. There's no other price target to be looking at other than that one. Mostly clear. Okay. Let's look at this again. I mean, it's not really a, this is hard. I want to say that Ichimoku lines over here were just freshly gold crossed, right? So 30-minute. All right. What else do we have over here? Stop loss. Stop loss was under the latest 30-minute stop loss. All right. I'm gonna have to name this. I'm gonna give all these things a new name because we have 2 ONDO trades. Oh, actually, I could just put the 20th. Yeah, he took this on another day, so we're good with this one. Fast forward. If you took it on the same day, I usually try to name things with a different name, just because there'll be 2 trades on the same date. But since he did take this the next day, we're good. So the next update happened way later on at 2 a.m. Fast forward. Let me just read it real quick. Says that he added to the position at 2 a.m. He added to the position over here. Ooh, let's see. Okay. Okay. This is interesting. So he was pretty confident in it going up. From here. But then 6 hours later, he decides to pull himself out of this trade. Say what? Okay, so he decides to sell sometime around here, and he said that he basically broke even. All right. So this one's a bit different because he's never really, or at least we haven't really seen one of his trades where he got in 2 different times and decided to exit at the same time, and pretty much at an average of both positions, it looks like. I want to get another coffee. Done. And done. Okay. And I'm going to assume that he broke even on this trade above fees. So there's 2 ways I classify break even. Exits. There's one type of break even where he kind of exits, like let's say his entry line was over here, and then he gets out maybe here, right? So that's what I call like break even, but he had to eat the fees. But if his entry line was over here, but he decided to exit over here, I would call that like a break even over fees. So he managed to make a teeny tiny profit, right? That covered whatever fees he had to pay to take those trades. So this one's relatively clear. I wouldn't say it's the clearest, but I have marked here in my notes that this is mostly clear because we know why he decided to enter. We have a good, I guess, semblance as to why he decided to add more to the position. And we kind of know why he decided to get out, because it looks like it was downtrending all the way over here, downtrending here. He probably didn't want to hold this. Technically, this was a lower high as well. This was a lower high here. So I guess he just didn't feel safe wanting to hold through this potential reversal. So I'm gonna write that down real quick over here as well. I gotta make a video. I want to make a video with my fucking face in it because, well, this live stream has been very nice. I think it would be more preferable if I made a video dedicated to a single topic. All right, we are done. I'm gonna timestamp this. I hope this was clear to everyone. I hope this was somewhat helpful. We went through technically 6 trades today. Okay, we went through 6 trades today. My next Age of Empires game is about to start. And yeah, if you're gonna X out of this stream right now, I thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. See you all in the next video. If you're keen to watch me smash noobs in Age of Empires, you can stay on for the upcoming game. I'm gonna switch over to Age of Empires right now. Game hasn't started. Okay. Let's see if I can do some housekeeping while I'm at this, while waiting for the game to start. I mean, there's a few guys who like talk to me about Age of Empires and stuff, and to be honest, I don't fucking care, bro. Like that's one thing about life nowadays, I guess. I do things like play video games to A, relax, and B, also try to sharpen my mind a little bit, because I do feel like my brain is running when I'm playing a real-time strategy game. Yep, that's right. I'm not playing one of those like brain rot, you know, kind of games like those mobile games. But at the same time, I really couldn't care less, bro. Like, there's guys in this game whom I play with on a pretty regular basis. Some of them have been longtime friends, And they keep talking to me about like all these like video game stuff and like what they did and blah blah blah. But to be honest, with all due respect, I just don't fucking care. I am dialed in on trading most of the time, all things trading. And frankly, I don't give a fuck what video game stuff. I play the video game, but I also don't care about it so much that I need to know everything and do like. I hate talking about video games, even though I play that video game. I'm trying to prepare for my next trade, so I have everything in order over here. Like video gaming is just bullshit. Friend says he's connecting headphones. Okay. Well, you should do like a bunch of comparisons as well for these prop firms. Prop firms. Okay. Okay. Pepe, Solana. Did I get into the... What is going on in this lobby? Why isn't this game starting? This game isn't starting anytime soon. Oh, my friend says that his pair of Bluetooth headphones are still trying to connect. Like that's why I use wired everything. I fucking hate anything that's wireless because I don't want to have to charge batteries. I don't want to have to find out that I have a flat battery. I don't want to have to deal with all of that bullshit. I've used wireless headphones enough times in my life, especially in my professional life, that I just don't want to have to deal with that shit. Like, you know how many times like my AirPods can't connect to the laptop and you have to reconnect and disconnect and whatever the fuck it is just to make it work? God. And it gets worse if you're trying to use a microphone. Like at least with like a Bluetooth headset that you're just using for gaming, you're not really using it as much for the microphone. Like God forbid you have to use the microphone for active speaking, like a work meeting, because life is gonna suck for you even more when you have to fiddle around with that shit and like keep sound checking. Can everyone in the meeting room hear me? Can everyone hear me? Is my microphone working? Fuck all of that shit. Like a lot of people are just stupid Zoomer lazy, you know? They think that wires are outdated, bro. Why don't you just switch to a wireless headset? Bro. Anyone who says that like is a fucking idiot. Because they obviously haven't used a DP8 4066 microphone before. It's wired only. Can connect a wireless pack. Hey, but at least that wireless pack is like designed for like concerts and stuff. At least it's reliable and like you get to pipe the sound in. Like fuck all these consumer devices. Wireless headphones especially. It's all a scam. The guy's taking so long that people are dropping from the lobby. And I have more time to go set up my charts for future for future review reverse engineering sessions over here. I'm gonna put this over here. I don't know if I should make a video on this topic as well, but I'm going to talk about it while we're waiting for this one slot to fill up in the lobby. Like, the other day, I saw like a post of from this one chick from a dating app. Like, I never matched with her, but I think she had her socials on there or something, like one of those attention seekers. That's a bit of my I guess guilty pleasure, which I'll probably talk about in a dedicated video. But if you're listening into the stream, you get like a exclusive preview into my little life over here, because oh my god, we got a second person drop from the lobby because my friend can't get his headphone set connected. Oh my god, so we're gonna have to wait even longer for this match to start. So hopefully I get time to tell and finish the story. So there's this chick that I met. Let me just type this out. My so there's this chick that I met or just browsed upon, if that's the word for it, on a dating app a few years ago. And she recently, I ended up following her on one of my throwaway accounts. Oh my god, now the match is starting. God, just as I was telling my story, you know, why can't the timing line up for all these things? I'm trying to tell my story over here. It's a pretty important story, I believe. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep talking. So there's this chick that I browsed upon. I didn't match with her on that dating app, but she was on there. I think she had her socials on there as well, which is how I found her social media profile and decided to start following it. And I've been that wasn't maybe 3 or 4 years ago when this happened. So anyway, I was browsing my social media. I know I say that I don't use social media on my main channel, which is 99% true, because I really don't. I don't post much on social media. The rare times that I do, I'm just reposting whatever it is that, you know, people whom I'm close with, right, who are close with me, let's say they've I don't know, tagged me or some shit in some post. Yeah, then I'll just play along and I'll just like repost that shit just to give them some face, and you know, to make sure that they know that I'm acknowledging their posts or whatnot, because I don't want anyone to get fucking butt hurt. So this chick, there's not many lobbies out here, which is why I always have to play in this one. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my chart. And I can't multitask for the love of God. So I'm gonna tell my story. I'm gonna hope that this lobby fills up. I'm not gonna touch the chart, even though I have it open over here. So fuck. Okay. God, I'm gonna tell this story again, so I can just get it over with in one shot and have it segmented. The reason I'm not like, okay, it's not really ADHD. I don't want to blame that, and I'm not really like an old person or whatever. But I need to tell this story from the start to the end in one shot, just so I can timestamp this shit on the live stream for anyone viewing this stream after I've posted it, after it's been been posted onto this channel. So the other day I was on social media. I don't browse social media that often. I just use it for shit posting. I repost the posts of people that I care about, just to give them some face. Otherwise they'll feel like, why isn't this guy that I tagged in my post reposting my stories? He must hate me. So I do that. I also follow miscellaneous characters. I find them pretty entertaining in a bit of a maybe atypical way. Among those miscellaneous characters, many of those people are influencers. We'll talk about this in more detail in a separate video or a separate live stream. So there was one chick that I matched once upon a time many years ago with. I don't remember the exact details as to how I got her social media profile, but I'm pretty sure she was one of those chicks who was attractive enough for me to be let's say observant and wanted, look at her profile more. Otherwise I'm just like fucking swiping on those dating apps and not really reading their profile. So I'm pretty sure that's how I found like her social media profile. We never matched because I guess she didn't like me or whatever it is. She didn't like my face or my body or whatever it is. But I ended up following her on one of my throwaway social media accounts, and the other day this post from her popped up, and I think she was like doing a video or something, like of like posting her or the front yard of a house. It wasn't her house. I thought that was her house, but it ended up being someone else's. And I found out where this house was just because I'm autistic that way. And I also found out that it was valuated at about or just under or just above, I don't know, 10 million US dollars. And upon some further research, I later learned that this house belongs to the person that she's dating. I don't know what to call that guy. I don't know if that's the fiance, the boyfriend, husband, whatever. I'm pretty sure they've been together for at least 2 years now, because the time that I saw this chick on the dating app was almost 4 or 5 years ago at this point. But yeah, that's the interesting find of the day. And what my point was surrounding that is that there's a lot of chicks that I found who want to get moved into a ready-made life, which is why they choose certain guys. I'm pretty sure this guy's a nice guy, but I'm also pretty sure that the fact that his family is able to afford a 10 million USD house is one of the reasons why she chose to date him. I don't think she's from like a poor family. It looks like she's from at least an upper middle class family, just based on, I guess, knowledge and experience. I mean, I was from a upper middle class family. We're more like middle class right now because my parents have never done anything to grow their wealth to keep up with the insane inflation that we've had, especially in the last 5 years. And on top of that, there's been a lot of people who are just getting filthy rich through some methods. I do have my guesses as to what they're doing, and I think for most part they're doing a lot of shady stuff. That's how people are getting into the upper middle class and redefining what that means nowadays. That's just what it is. But yeah, this chick got herself a fucking whale while fishing. I don't know what the guy she's dating, who he is. I've yet to find out. I don't know if I'll have the time and energy to go look into that. But I have a hunch that he doesn't really work. That's I think he works as, if he does work, he probably works as something where he doesn't have to be in an office all the time. That's just my hunch based on like the posts that she's been posting, and she's like that guy's kind of like driving around and like going places and stuff, and he doesn't really seem to have like a normal work schedule, if that makes sense. But I swear there's like a photo that I did see where he was like in a dress shirt, so it is possible that he's employed, just not in a line of work where you have to be at the fucking office, 5 days a week. That's something that I want to explore more in this channel, to be honest, because there's my dating experiences in the past that I want to really talk about. There was a chick that I did match with, also in the same year, where I was browsing all those dating apps, and we went out a few times. Like, we went out a lot of times, actually. Let's see if I can... I cannot confirm or deny. I cannot confirm or deny if there is somewhere that I've written down how many times we went out. We went out together over the course of a month and a half. And I thought things were getting serious, We spent a good amount of time hanging out together. She was over at my place quite a bit, and one day she just seems to be very reluctant to come over, and I'm like, what's wrong? Like no, that happened later. No. So yeah, so this was at the last time that she went over to she came over to my place. I tried to I guess make a move on her or something, and like I tried to make like try to make the relationship official and stuff like that, and she was very hesitant, and then she pretty much fessed up that she was also seeing another guy at the same time, and she couldn't decide between the both of us. And I mean, just based off like common sense or whatever, I wasn't really like the most experienced dater at that point. I never was experienced at dating at that point in time. I was gaining a lot of experience very rapidly. But it wasn't like, it wasn't like I was a playboy since I was fucking high school or anything, because I was literally quite the opposite of that. Constantly bullied, socially awkward, yada, 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 overweight. And I kind of had this gut feeling, just from like job interviews and shit, that I was probably the second choice. Because if you looked at the way that job interviews worked, it is extremely unlikely that the prospective employer is going to tell the candidate that they really like that they have other options. Like it's just not, it's not very common. Like I know it is kind of a trendy thing nowadays for people to want to start asking if you're in other interviews with other companies and like but it's not something that you would do for the number one candidate that you're trying to gun after. So my gut feeling from that was that, yeah, I'm probably the secondary choice. Long story short, I later told her that, look, if you're seeing this other guy, I really don't really appreciate, like being on the, I'm not like a fucking shopping option. I don't really care for that. So let me just make your decision easier, and yeah, I'm not gonna see you anymore. And we were pretty close at the time, so I ended up like following her on social media. She ended up following me on social media. I'm pretty sure she's unfollowed me by now. I don't check my fucking socials that often. I don't obsess over my stats, and to be honest, I don't give a flying fuck. And yeah, that door is at least still operational in one direction. And like some months later on, she kind of makes a post with a guy that she's chosen to date. The other guy, I assume, whom she was trying to decide between, and it looked like they were going on a vacation or something. And then a few months later, I think, I don't remember the exact post, but I got the impression that they had basically moved in together, because that guy owned the place at the time, and I was just renting my place. So she literally wanted a relationship where she packed her fucking bags, and all she had to do was move her suitcases into the address of the guy, and that's it. Just open up the suitcases and start hanging your fucking clothes all over the closets. That's what she wanted. That's what a lot of girls want, actually, which is not too politically correct to say in today's times. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for like the personal connection or the right personality or like this, that, and the other. They're looking for a mate who could potentially put a baby in them. And the criteria for a mate who is in good fitness is literally physical fitness, but this guy was older, to be honest. Like objectively speaking, no homo. I saw what that guy looks like, and he's at least like 5 to 8 years older than I was at the time. And he had like a kind of I want to say like a semi-receding hairline. Like everything about this guy did not scream attractive, right? It was, I guess he was maybe in decent physical shape, but so was I. But he also had a house. I didn't have a house. He had presumably a car. I didn't have a car at the time. I had just moved, and to a few thousand miles, and yeah, he was. Presumably, he also had a few extra digits at the back of his liquid bank account. I did have savings and stuff like that, but they were just tied up in a lot of financial instruments. So my bank account back then was like maybe $30,000. So I'm guessing this guy also probably had another zero at the back of his bank account. That's why she ultimately chose to date him over me. And that's what a lot of girls do. I wouldn't say that I've dated like the most people, but I've dated a good enough sample size, talked to enough women to have realized that this is one of the criteria. This is a part of the personality that they're looking for. The personality in your pocket, right? The personality on your web browser when you type in yourbankaddress.com into the URL bar. That's the personality that they're trying to judge. So I think that's pretty interesting. And I think that's also a message that needs to be gotten out to a lot of people, especially young guys who are in the positions who are in the position of myself, like I was back when I was in high school, in college. Just having no dating experience, being told by a bunch of gaslighters on how dating worked, and having to realize the hard way, find out the hard way by banging your head against the fucking wall, embarrassing yourself, screwing up so many times, fucking up, wasting time, wasting money, just to find out that none of it was as society told you. Just develop a better personality, bro. Maybe you just have to be a nicer person. Maybe you're not nice enough. Just be a nice guy, and the girls will all come to you. Fuck that. Whew. That was a 16-minute long rant. And this lobby still has barely filled up. Oh my god. I'm gonna wrap up this stream for real. Or I could just keep doing these charts. I could just keep filling up these fucking these fucking shit coins, you know? I could just keep marking like the entry points and the exit points of our friend Joe while waiting. Is that what I should do? Should I keep marking? I need to make another video. I need to make a dedicated video on what I just ranted about. Because I think this kind of message needs to get out to the world. Not enough people talk about it. And the less people talk about it, the more the liars in society are able to get away with lying. The more a lie is repeated, the more likely that at some point it becomes the truth. The truth. I'm doing the air quotes with my fingers right now, but you can't really see because I don't have a camera that's connected, and I won't have a camera that's connected for a while because I'm too cheap to buy a capture card. But that's fine because ultimately you also know what I look like in my videos. Okay, the game is finally going to begin. 3 versus 3. Oh my god. Wow. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, how long does it take to just start? Okay, he wants to make it a 4 versus 4 right now, so I'm just gonna keep putting in my lines into these charts. I'm gonna put my timestamp over here because I want to talk about something else while we're waiting. Maybe something that's more trading related. So a few days ago, what was it? A few days ago, it was a week ago at this point. A week ago, I decided to sign up for a prop firm and try what that's about, because I heard that prop firms are risky but at the same time rewarding. So I decided to do that. I like it, to be honest. I'm trying to shop for another account just because there's a 4th of July sale going on this week across all the prop firms. That's when the good discounts are at, and I'm hoping to get another account. The logic that I have, it's not like I want to open like a million accounts. The logic that's going through my mind right now is that I want an account where I'm able to have a backup at the same time in case that account blows up. I also have a target of earning 5,000 US dollars a month, which I think I can easily pull off using one prop firm account. But I also am feeling a bit antsy because of let's just put it, the stage that I'm at in my life right now, that I want to earn 10,000 US dollars a month. And if I'm able to do that, I'm basically set for a good amount of time, because that it's not just about the money. It's the fact that if I was able to maintain that, that would also mean that I'm able to scale from there and make even more money from trading, which is nice. And by the way, for those who are interested, I actually don't trade crypto on prop firms. I'm trading like futures. Okay, now we have our game that we can finally, hopefully, start playing. Can I put Age of Empires? All right. Fuck this guy.
Yes.
All right. For those people who are just joining the stream, unfortunately, I'm at the tail end. So I've reviewed something like 6 different crypto shitcoins at this point, and I'm just wrapping up the stream with a favorite video game of mine. I apologize if you're here for a trade review. You can view the archive of this stream where I do talk about 6 different crypto trades by our alleged millionaire friend Joe. I don't want to rename the stream name because we did do a lot of trade reviews, and that's the whole idea of what these streams are about. But at the same time, I do need time for me to relax. And one of those ways is by smashing the shit out of people in this game. These guys are so cooked. Should I be a total asshole and try to chop these trees down? I think I will. I wonder what stupidity we'll see in this game. I think we have a good chance of winning. We have a decent number of good players, I think, on this team, which is nice. Let's go. Or should I do butter? Huh. No, I think I'll just rush this guy. I might rush this guy. Just because I hate him. Just because he thought he was very smart walling this wall up here. Preventing me from stealing his boar. He'll pay. He'll pay for that. I want another coffee, but I'm just glued to my chair over here. I feel like I can't get up. I also have to produce my video. So much shit that I have to do. Oh no, all my farms. All my farms. All me farms. Sorry, farms. You're gonna have to take a back seat. I need my upgrades over here. I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's gonna build a castle soon. Oh, green is dead, boo! What is it, bro? I don't know what you're talking about. That's what you get for walling me out. Oh, fuck this multi-walling asshole. What is it, bro? What is this? Some noob crap. Let's go. Oh no. Whoa, let's go. Damn, he resigned. We're just vaporizing everything in our path. GG! Okay, someone else has resigned. Ooh, they're making decent progress over here. Huh. Woohoo! Whoa, there's a lot of pest control that we need to do. Ooh, we're just vaporizing. Alright, time to get some spies. Spies. Whoa, he has a lot of villagers. Man, they're all here. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like you gotta get little pest control here. What? Purple's still alive? What? Can we end this game already? Jesus. Wow, 7,000 gold. He has a lot of villagers. Okay, got the spies. Got the spies over here. Okay, where else is he at? I know you're hiding. I know you're hiding. Oh, this is one of those annoying ass players who just doesn't want to surrender, even though the game is clearly over. He just wants to wall himself up in this corner. It's really stupid and annoying. I'm gonna get my coffee after this. This game is over. I will give you closure by playing this game till the very end, showing you that we've won. We're gonna have that da 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 winning sound. All right. Finally. Okay, this game is over, and so is the stream. Whew! All right. Time to get out of here and make some videos. I gotta make some videos for this channel. There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about in dedicated videos, so I'm just gonna do that right now, and I'm gonna end the stream. Hopefully you learned something from this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.